Right, we're back. So, last time we finished conquering the world. Sort of. There's still uncolonized spots that need to be colonized at some point or another. And I'll get to them in time. It's just that. Oh. Neat. The first transpolar flight. Yeah, my population exceeds the domination limit. How could you tell? Okay. This tile is the perfect spot for a tree farm because resin makes it amazing. Okay, spot to use the Shinto Temple. Right, energy drinks and Grand Dome. Yep, energy drinks are now a thing. Good lord. Now that I have a ton of cities, this is going to become a regular occurrence, mind you. So, I hope you enjoy the sound of cheering. There. It's done. Okay, assembly plant, modern earthworks. Hopefully there will be at least some improvements soonish. There's no point in obtaining lava rocks, since the modern earthworks replaces the lava rock gatherer. Anyway, engineering school, factory. Nothing else can keep pace with it that doesn't get replaced somehow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Closure. Winery, I guess. I definitely need to work on improvements for these new cities. So yeah, for the moment the plan is pretty much just to work on finishing colonizing the rest of the terrestrial world, the terrestrial map. And continue rushing through the atomic age as quickly as I can. There's plenty to do after all, plenty to see in the future ages, and now that I no longer have to deal with any other civs, it shouldn't be that much of a problem to get through it all in a reasonable amount of time. A sewer, okay. You do not have power yet, so the hydro plant would be a good idea to build soonish. Though surprisingly, the industrial farms are still insanely good. To actually be better than the hydro plant. I mean, it's just the factories buff for the moment. It's still kind of surprising though. The sheer amount of power involved. I definitely need to get a workboat to one of these cities at some point. I probably could just rush it in a city. I'm not nearly as willing to wait for units to finish up, but for construction to finish up when it's a unit, that's for sure. pizza! Anyway, let's get the temple through. Why are you missing these? Oh wait, I think the cable cars require a peak in the city vicinity, and there's now a volcano here, which counts, I guess. That certainly wasn't there until recently. But, well, tectonics can be unpredictable at times. I guess. At least in a video game. I have no idea how the tectonics of this world specifically work. The one that we live on, I have a fairly good idea, and that has been refined through. And that knowledge is built upon quite a bit of research. Scientific research. So I can at least say that I have a fair idea of what's going on down there. Probably won't ever be particularly amazing and thorough, but at least it's an idea. I don't know all that much about the world that I'm playing this on, so... I mean, I know a good portion of its history because I played through it, but still. Yeah. I can save future production choices for later. Science! Oh, good. There's so many buildings that need to be built here. I guess I can do the snake pit, no problem. I haven't bothered sending many animals over here anyway, so I guess. There. I'm not sure if I even set up a spider over there. There's quite a few buildings locked behind. Oh, that requires a telephone network. The ultra fuel refinery uses a future thing that is still locked away, so I'm not worried about it. Hmm. I do wonder what's going to happen in a few turns, because there's every 50 turns there's the random famous person has released their greatest work, or whatever it tends to end up being called, and then it's a list of the civs. I wonder how that looks like with only one civ. Is it even going to come up? Because if it does, it's probably just going to be just me, whatever it is, on the top position. Oh, okay, so I guess I can build a marine preserve there instead of anything else. Well, okay. Terminal, retreat center, factory, grand aerodrome. March! I don't need to wait for them to do any healing.
All right. Maybe it does taste like wet cardboard, but it sure beats starving.
Based on the name, this might be a form roleplay. A quote form, form roleplay. Hydroponics is something that could someday become very important, but for now it's still a tech that's very much in its infancy. Anyway, let's just beeline for composites. I can't really think of anything better to grab. Astrobiology is actually not that bad, but I want to save it as a free tech. It's a very good tech for that specifically, I guess. What is over here? Oh, it's a worker. Okay. I had completely left that there the entire time. I don't know why I hit Sentry. That would not really do all that much. But yeah, I can build factories out here. Although for now it's best to just put a wildlife sanctuary so that it won't lose the food production. Because food production in the Arctic regions is, as one would expect, rare and precious. Even if it's a wildlife preserve, they still provide a tiny bit of food. Just from being on the tile. Bonuses do increase base yields even if you aren't or can't exploit them yet. At least not properly. Just build sea mills. It's the most effective use of my time here. Yep. Justly. Your entire reason for sitting there is to provide visibility to that area. At least until Hattusas, or Karchemish, or Kanesh ends up expanding so that their borders so that this tile becomes visible at all times. As well as these tiles over here, these three. Okay. Right. Mine. That's the most important thing you can do. So that the city has some real production to work with. Then we can build the railroad. And then go for the resin. Then move on to the next bit. Did I not build a railroad? Oh, great. Okay. I don't think I mined this tile. No. I think the jungle, not the jungle, the volcano has actually destroyed quite a bit of infrastructure over here, which I should definitely rectify, if at all possible. Ah, whaling. Anyway, did I have a specific topic I was talking about? Hmm, I don't remember. No, nothing to it. I'm going to need to use that tile since it's the best tile for a direct connection. After all, the mountains take longer to build stuff in, plain and simple. So I would rather avoid dealing with those if at all possible. Build modern mine to get 18 production and 2 gold. Jeez. That is a lot. I'll happily take those. Gold income is no longer an actual problem, so I'm not too worried about things. Though I can't have you build any more world wonders. I guess we can do the human genome project here. Or maybe I can do a bunch of cultures. Why not? Okay, yeah. Stop there for the time being. I think up here would perhaps be the best thing to work on. More vision. Oh, good. The number of animals here. Oh, wait. Right. I probably should bombard the tile. Just to see what would happen. Ecological damage? What's that? Okay, let's see here. Programming language is universally the best option. Most of the time. Okay, that should be fun for now. You know, putting Blitz on you would be great. Because then dealing with multiple animals at once won't be a problem. Oh, you're over here, that's right. Yeah, it's not that much of an issue. Barbs, not in this area, so. You'll be fine. Oh, I forgot you're not a sea creature. Fine, build a modern mine. Let's see. That wasn't nearly as much damage as I expected. I mean, I'm going to have to do similar stuff probably in order to actually get onto the island. And admittedly, that's probably going to prevent anything from spawning on it, at least land-wise. Water-wise might be a different problem. But I'm sure I can figure that one out eventually. Shark studies. And then we'll research Coast Code. These last few texts will probably come in quick, so I don't foresee more than 3 more sessions of Atomic Era.
We do this job because every once in a while someone is out there without hope, desperately praying for their life, and we get to be the answer.
Yeah. I could have done a Center of Shark Studies, but I clicked too quickly. Great. Alright, Metropolitan Administration, Retreat Center, Factory Energy Drink. Well, this order. Thank you. Okay, Energy Drink Factory, this. I really need to check more animals. I say that, but it's sometimes just easier not to. Because of speed and all that. This is one of the Conquered cities, so I was able to build the engineering school without building the university first because they already had the barter post or something. Trading post? Well, I think once I conquered it would have automatically upgraded to trading post anyway, but I'm digressing. Assembly plant. The manufacturing plant will be nice at some point, but not yet. The industrial farms comes first. Anything further is, to be frank, a bit questionable over whether or not it's efficient enough to be worth it. So I'm gonna end up, especially since after several turns, there's gonna be a few more tiles that are going to be improved in the area. So there does stand a decent chance of things improving by the time I manage to get back to handling it. Can anyone here do whale studies? Not from the looks of it. Okay. I mean, that is a fairly well-developed region. So, probably already did that. However, it can go. Alright, energy drink factory. And science! And yes, the comedy club definitely gets me some extra science. Because it provides celebrities, and celebrities provide commerce, which with 100% science rate produces only science. A 100% science rate is just amazing. And I will never, ever change that. For as long as it is within my power. Get the programming language first. It's quite effective. Yeah, and I think that might be the best way to handle things for now. Well, the industrial park is pretty good, so. Oh boy, natural gas. It's built as this place hasn't built a foundry yet. Yeah, and production's not going to be good. At least not base production, so. Industrial farms it is. And I don't exactly plan on getting any workers in the area anytime soon. So it might be a while before anything changes over there. Sadly. See, no. Oh, I must have built the underwater that was not the plan. Okay, I wanted to build fishing boats. But I hit the wrong button, apparently. Without even noticing. Well, there's an underwater tunnel there now. Right. I was thinking this for a while. Probably should actually get around to it. Workboat, workboat, workboat. Where is it? Bear with me for a minute. I can see the Coast Guard ship and my eye keeps wrong to it because it's red. Fine, show naval units. There it is. And yet I can't see it anymore. Is it really cheap? Yeah, it's in the top. I wasn't even looking in the top row. But there it is. Anyway, spend what is effectively a turn's worth of gold in order to get it in just one city. Must already have that. Okay. I can put a manufacturing complex on the tile, and since it's just ice, like it's even worse than permafrost. It's a layer of ice, Not sea ice, but still ice. There's no food on it, so I can just build a manufacturing complex with no negative consequences. Isn't that nice? Oh, it's Honolulu. I'm sure something here gives me a free technology. Maybe I should start from the bottom and work up in expense. Well, I guess that doesn't need to be built anymore. The Louvre needs to be built at some point. That hurry production cost reduction does sound nice. Oh good lord, where? I know I have something in here that gives me a free tech upon construction, right? Or am I already building something like that? It's entirely possible I've done that. Plus 2 commerce from engineers in all cities. It is obsolete with megastructure engineering, but it is far, far away, I assume. I don't actually know where exactly the tech sits. Oh, there is no free tech anywhere, not from the World Wonders anyway. I don't think the National Wonders have this. Huh. Huh. Well then. That's going to be obsolete with personal computers. Maglev. Sure, why not? Golden Spike. Let me get all the 3 turn cost cultures as well. Skylu. Hmm. That's been a while. Oh, it's going to be a while longer before I have to deal with York production queue again. That. I guess. I mean, I probably should build the depot after the energy drink factory since that provides more production. Just when I started talking about something and then forgot about it. Could have just been a one-off, off-the-cuff comment that I didn't. I don't know. I really don't know what I was talking about beforehand. I mean, if it really was an off-the-cuff comment that wasn't actually important, then I can see why I could forget about it in the process, but I'm not overly happy about it. Just randomly forgetting something like that quickly. Anyway, amphibious warfare. Which is a really tough thing to do. Fighting on water is one thing. But going from land to water without any issues, oh boy. Anyway, I need a bank, so I can build the patent office. Oh, you've done with production. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to handle things a little directly. hospital. I would not be surprised if I also need... No, I don't need the chemical plant. But I do need the hospital and the bank as well. I don't think I need the courthouse per se, but... Yeah, just the bank. Okay, carefully now. And there. The entomology lab is cheap, but I've got all these arachnids for a reason, so... I may as well use them for the intended purposes.
Semper Fi.
Okay, road's done. The thing about Prague is that it doesn't even have any resources around it. Yeah. That really is strange. So yeah, very strange. Okay, that city needs a... I'll handle the mess with the workers over there in a bit. Oh boy, there's a spider here. So... Oh. Why haven't we built the Arboretum first? That's a very important building. Produces quite a bit of science and a heck of a lot of food. So it is in my best interest to build that as soon as it comes up as an option. But yeah, I'm still, maybe I should just talk channel work a bit. Yeah. I'm still going through the industrial era videos. In fact, it's really more of just started on them. And, well, I mean, it's fairly obvious. It's going to take a while. So as it stands, I'm still more than an age ahead. Especially as the game seems liable to start speeding up again. Which I have zero issues with. After all, the entire point in conquering the world is making sure that I can just breeze through the turns more quickly. Without being overly worried about any potential knock-on effects that this can cause down the line. Fine. Build the hydroponics lab first because hemp apparently loves hydroponics. So yeah, I still haven't actually drawn the time-lapse for Atomic, though it's not nearly a problem yet. As I said, Industrial has just started with uploads. I think I think yesterday was the day that that came out. What was it? the final episode of Renaissance. So next comes the drawing time lapse for. Well, after this weekend, it's the drawing time lapse. Unless I'm getting it wrong, that the drawing time lapse came out at the start of this week rather than at the start of next week. Either way, there's still plenty of time. I'm still not finished editing all of the industrial stuff. Well, I call it edit, but it's very hands-off since with this one I'm taking a more of a raw footage with a little bit of pizzazz to add an end screen. Oh. There was already a rock hopper penguin here and I forgot about it. Well, bird exposure. Bird. Please don't be annoying about that. I don't know what is the problem with those, but let's go ahead. So, yeah. Do not build the plantation. Build a tree farm. It's way better. Yeah, I still have plenty of time, so. But once again, it does seem like I'm going to enter industrial before I've actually drawn. Not industrial. Information before I actually have drawn atomic. Although the same is true of every era beforehand. I've always drawn done the drawing time lapse after I've already completed the era itself. Even with prehistoric, I waited until I was through with prehistoric and some ways into ancient before doing the drawing time lapse because I figured at that point, okay, I have enough footage, I can start committing to releasing 3 videos a week. And so far, yes, that's been the case. Even if I have slowed down recording over the past few months. From the peak that was December and January, where I have recorded multiple times a day, during a time period where I have more time off from work. And sometimes, even on days after work, I recorded. I've definitely slowed down, but it's still plenty of buffer space, which is very, very nice. Doesn't mean I can't really talk about it all that much that's topical, outside of in broad senses, because I cannot predict what's going to happen 2 months from now, outside of the broadest strokes. Okay, science, yeah. And food. Oh joy. Well, I don't want to deal with your queue for a while, so. At least when it's raw production, it's obvious what's more effective when one doesn't. I guess. Maybe necessary is the term? Yeah. Yeah, it's seal. There still isn't very much in the way of raw productive power sitting in the outskirts of the city. Yeah, so it's kind of obvious that the best option out of all the options is just to build the modern earthworks once it's done with the straw gatherer. There's not really any reason to do the actual ocean because the coast is more valuable, even if not by much. And there's also no reason to build outside of reach of a city, because the improvements that aren't for extraction of a resource are there just to provide more overall resources to the various cities. That is what they're there for. And that's really the goal of it all. The tiles are being improved. Just give them time. I have one worker down there. And I don't see the need to rush. Especially with how long turns are. Relatively speaking. How slow things are, I guess. Maybe long is the incorrect term to use. How little time each turn represents. Of course, for balancing reasons, stuff happens in certain ways. Okay. I mean, I could talk about the fact that uh, Social Democracy Popular Front came out recently, but by this point, the game will have been, what, 2, 3 months old? I can't really say that I haven't gotten all of the, well, I think 7 achievements currently. The game's fairly underbaked at the moment and unfinished, but it's a nice quick game. Anyway, Supersonic Flight is coming in next turn. That's another technology under my belt. It's Athens. Okay. Have we built the factory yet? Yes. Okay, that at least confirms that. Right, the city doesn't have electricity yet. And the industrial farms are still painfully slow. But after you do that, definitely grab the hydro plant so you can start producing power of your own. It's good to know that you've largely caught up with the sewer, though. Well, I did.
If you want to grow old as a pilot, you've got to know when to push it and when to back off.
Hypersonic recon plane. Oh, Space Needle gives 2 engineers. I mean, part of the problem is that editing these by computer extremely busy. It basically maxes out on the CPUs for the duration. And why isn't it using my GPU? I don't know. Ask the editing software I use. Which is actually why I'm looking into maybe using a new one, a different one. I mean, it's all open source, so it's not a big deal. But I still want to check and see at some point if it's better or not. Though I am planning on waiting until I'm either done or mostly done over here with this. Series. Maybe I'll use it for the last couple videos if I can figure it out. Once I'm no longer under the pressure of also needing to record and whatnot. Maybe straight. Nah. Doing a new series, doing something new for an entirely new series is maybe, actually. It's a decision I shouldn't take lightly. I know that from the outset. So, something I definitely need to take the time on to try to figure out. Although there was a change previously, but that was because entirely separate reasons. That weren't entirely voluntary. So I may have talked about it in the past, and it would have been way in the past too. So like at least a few years ago, that's for sure. Ferry terminal. What's this? Oh, it's... Oh, okay, so it's brand new. It's from Coast Guard. Places the steamboat port. Neat. Okay, grab the roads. You know, just grab these as well. There's no point not doing so. Even if there's the road stuff coming up. Yep, it's Silva's, one of the newer cities. It is pretty much what I expected. Okay, hydro plant looks good. Parts plant, oil refinery. They're approximately the same, honestly, when it comes to efficiency. Though in all honesty, I think I should build these first. They're going to be very quickly constructed, so efficiency isn't genuinely something I'm worried about on that one. Then do the modern earthworks. Modern crane, modern earthworks. Okay. It is a long list, so the city is going to be, well, can be ignored for a while. The thing is, if I have 100 cities and they all have 100 turn queues, and none of them coincide, I'm still checking on a city every turn. So it's a balance of, I'm going to be researching like 15 techs by the time I get back to the city. So there's going to be plenty of new buildings and or wonders to deal with. And I'm not sure if I want to go through 10 different city queues every turn. Although admittedly that is the extreme case of every city taking 10 turns to get through its queue. And assuming that completion is approximately evenly distributed. Which admittedly with 100 cities might actually be that incorrect. Which is a very fun thought. Railroad. Ooh! Some new sources of manganese. Ah, it's all science buildings. I'm gonna build these anyway, eventually. So. Although I may need to check to see if... I have built the hospital, right? Yes, otherwise I wouldn't be building the vaccine lab. What I am, however, missing is the bank. That's what I need to look for. And the bank is right there. Okay. So I also built the community garden. Built the community garden? Yes, it looks like it. Okay. Oh, the city doesn't have a spider of its own. Well, that's something I can handle later. Okay, we'll do Modern Warfare and then call it. Which is still quite a few techs. That was at least 4 of them, right? No, 5. We did hydroponics, and then Coast Guard, amphibious warfare, supersonic flight, and now modern warfare. After that is guided weapons, composites, and then yeah, probably extreme sports, and then I'll finally bite the bullet and start doing the personal computer stuff. Yes, I've been putting it off this long. I'm well aware of that. It may not be the smartest of decisions. But I want to keep those academies going for as long as possible. Oh. Okay, it's done mooning. Of course they're done with their stuff. Let's get your food production up. That's going to take a while. Tamooning has a huge amount of production. Which probably has to do at least something to do with its placement. I want to keep the ancient forests. So. Because if it upgrades that, or if it upgrades as a tile improvement upgrade rather than anything else, then it won't remove that, which is certainly preferred. Anyway, get rid of the desert hemp and I'll get a lot more production out of the tile. We're about to hit an hour, and I'm not going to overstep that by much. Just Modern Warfare, get through the turn after, and hopefully don't mess it up again. Yeah, the individual turns aren't taking nearly as long as they previously did. Really? Wow, I hope that doesn't happen every time. Something's bugged with that. Let's get back to building the sea mill. That one can head ahead and get me another fishing boat somewhere. Okay, Modern Warfare. After, of course, I handle this stuff. Let's look at the computer science department, since it tends to be a very powerful thing. Alright, next. I'm not going to be under an hour, that's for sure, but...
We know now that in modern warfare, fought on any considerable scale, there can be no possible economic gain for any side. Win or lose, there is nothing but waste and destruction.
Yeah, warfare has never been good for the economy. Well, except for weapons manufacturers, but they're a special case. And I did that without realizing there aren't any amazing spots. I guess I could just sit you here and have you wait. Alright, city queues. Oh, great. Oh, right. You don't have a mason production either, do you? The Hydra plant is your best bet for now. After that, probably the levy. Which is an interesting thing to say. The manufacturing plant. Yeah. Okay, you've built your industrial farms. I can see that vine gatherer, grass gatherer. As well as that resin grove. All those are very cheap buildings that tend to be efficient. Admittedly, however, that assembly plant is ridiculous, so I'm just going to build it first. Build 50% faster with coal. That explains why it's always so ridiculously efficient. Anyway, is there anything that's particularly good? No, these all are about the same efficiency, so. Oh, right, I forgot. The manufacturing plant. It's not quite as ridiculous as the assembly plant, but it's still hilariously good. I'll build things in this order. Okay. No. That has priority for whatever reason. But after that, it seems the assembly plant is still the best option. It is Kawaika, though. I'll probably see if I can get a wonder on the city that gives secondary capital effect. I'm pretty sure that was the last city. Ah, great. If I completely forget about that. Although I can always check over footage. Yeah. Great, I got the... just do your thing. Okay. Let the lag finish. There. I'm gonna need to mine that tile at some point. You know what? I'm not gonna be able to do anything while that cycles through, so... Oh, are we done with all the notifications? No, we're not. Oh, we are done now. Okay. I'll do the queue for the city and then call it. And no, I'm not putting it off on purpose. Okay, so the lab's already built. At least there's that. Let's just give you a very, very long queue so I don't need to see you again for a while. There we go. See you again in 100 turns or so. Dink. There. There, there, there. Stop now. Okay. Considering that I no longer have any opponents to compete with, even if I was never really a competition in the first place, or well, never really competitive in the first place, is probably the better way. Oh no, not again. At the very least, it seems that in this portion of the world, there's no longer any invisible tiles. Well, no longer any fog of war that appears. All the tiles are now within vision because this opium has come into the sway. Of course, it still means that stuff can spawn over here, but... Yeah, sure, why not? Got not much better to do with these. Okay, yeah. I am getting through text at a fairly rapid pace. I expect at most 3 more sessions before we hit information lifestyle, and then the information thumbnail appears, although it is not made yet. Of course it isn't. I haven't even made Atomic yet. Not as of recording. Of course, by the time this lecture comes out, I will have already made the Atomic Era thumbnail for probably at least a month, if not 2. And then we'll hit, well, pretty much today's times. Finally be able to build arcs of... I've been waiting for ages for that one. Literal months, I tell you. It's not wrong. But yeah, um, it is quite a ways to go without having researched PCs, but we'll get there. We'll get there. It's gonna obsolete a lot too. But apparently you need PCs for the karaoke club. Of course you do. Yeah. After I research composites and extreme sports, which does require modern sports down here, that's when I'll finally bite the bullet and get PCs, unless there's something being built that gets... I might do astrobiology. I need to check the list of what's being built and where. Because there might be a wonder being built that gets me a free tech, in which I'll burn the free tech on that specifically, but I need to look through every city's list to see if there's any... Well, Bairiki's gonna need to be handled next turn. Of course, some cities like Kangaro are just stuck building cultures. I think once we get off of Mononesia and the surrounding continents, I don't need to check anymore. Because so far, they're the only ones that have built wonders at any level of scale. I mean, sure, I did build the Three Gorges Dam, of course, in Neonesia, but that was because it's one of those wonders that affects only the cities on the continent. So why not build it on the largest continent in the game? Because continents aren't split up for balance purposes like they are in Civ 6. I don't even know if the concept of a continent exists in Civ 5. It's been a very long time since I played it. But I do thoroughly remember Civ 6's different continent system. But yeah. There's still stuff to do. I haven't actually done any colonization yet, because this area is kinda pointless to colonize. There's not very many resources. I will eventually get to it, though. And this. This tile will bother me if I don't colonize it, but there is no reason to colonize it. I also need to plop a city down here somewhere. And there might be a need to place a city somewhere in the future that I haven't thought of placing a city at yet. But that is future stuff that has to be handled eventually, but not yet. Like, it might be reasonable to plop a city somewhere in here. But then again, it's not that many tiles that are out of reach of any city. Perhaps in here somewhere, there are quite a... Again, it's the issue of, is it actually reasonable to do that? Perhaps. Or perhaps not. Because sure, a lot of tiles go unexploited. But do I need to exploit every tile? No. I'll get along just fine without having to do that. I just need to make sure that every tile is visible at all times in order to minimize the chances of barbs spawning. Because that gets annoying very quickly. Especially when it comes to naval infrastructure. It is very annoying to have to deal with barbs running about and doing that, but I will say this, there have not been any privateers that have appeared since Sioux was conquered, so at the very least, they were the source of those. Now, any heftier ships in the future are probably going to be actual genuine barbs for multiple reasons. At the very least, that is only a hunter. So all of my units are well poised to taking that down, it's just that I don't feel like putting in the effort to actually get there. Because this MBT is busy dealing with ensuring that no barb units spawn up here, which it will be busy with for the foreseeable future until someone either does these tiles or these tiles with culture spread, as well as this tile over here, which, well, yeah, these three tiles need to be, and this one right here, are still outside of the range of permanently visible thanks to cultural borders. That has to be resolved at some point. Same goes with a lot of these ocean tiles. If I want to prevent any barbs from spawning, because barbarian ships can spawn, and they will spawn, and they have spawned. But as far as I know, it's just coast and sea. I don't remember seeing any ocean spawns. Admittedly, I haven't seen any barbs in a while outside of that one big game hunter. Of course, there's still the issue of what goes on down here, which is why there's a tank running around and not a big game hunter. Because I've already lost two big game hunters to this area. It's not pretty. Right, it's over here. But so far there hasn't been any issues down here. Probably because of the fewer spawnable tiles. And again, I do need to get to this. Give it a minute. This area at some point. But for the most part, this portion, the terrestrial area, is conquered. It is under my control. So. And technically, this tile also isn't in visibility range, but this, yeah. It's a mountain that's pretty close by to one of my cities, so, and isn't blocked by anything else, at the very least, not here. So it's within visibility. But that's not due to cultural borders or anything, it's from other stuff. Oh, there's a modern infantry down there now? Okay, you've got other priorities for the moment. So, dink and dink. It's 2 or 3 turns worth of gold, but I'm not too worried about money anymore. The rapid expansion is over. The world is, for the most part, under my control. It's no longer an issue. So, I have definitely gone on long enough. It's been more than 10 minutes. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye. I'll stop panning out the runtime.